Do you wish you could get virtual attendees to turn their cameras on? Is engagement the number one issue on your virtual meetings? Do you want your meeting to be the most engaging virtual meeting? Well, welcome to the Engaging Virtual Meetings podcast. In this podcast, we'll talk to the top people around the world in virtual meetings and give you, the listener, the best ideas to host engaging virtual meetings. Make sure that you click subscribe so you can get the latest episode of the Engaging Virtual Meetings podcast. Now, let's welcome your host, the author of the #1 Amazon hot new release, Engaging Virtual Meetings, John Chen. Good morning. This is John Chen. We're here with another episode, a very special episode of Engaging Virtual Meetings podcast. This gentleman is a living legacy. It's so amazing. I have actually won his award. He's been in the meetings industry. He is specializing in technology. And holy cow, this gentleman is finally says, I'm going to hang up my shingle. And I don't think he ever really will, because he'll probably do AV somewhere. But he's going to hang up his shingle and he's going to retire. Please, everyone, now unmute your mic and say, welcome to our favorite guest here, Corbin Ball.
Yeah. Hey, hello, everyone. Great to see you. Great to see you.
So we have a few special guests here, Corbin, who happen to just jump into this podcast. So first off, let's just let Corbin have the first word and the last word. Of course, that we do that. But then I'm going to let each of you say a few things, hopefully that you can share a favorite Corbin. Corbin, first off, do us the favor for anybody who, we are streaming, anybody who's watching this who doesn't know you, Corbin, what would you like to say about yourself today?
Oh, that's a pretty broad question. I think that at my core, I'm a meeting planner. That's how I've been in this industry for more than 40 years. It's an industry that has sustained me. This is where my good friends, I see some of them joining this meeting here, and it's an industry that I love. 27 years ago, I decided that I could see that technology is going to change everything, and I thought that would be a good time for including events and exhibitions. And so I decided at that time I'd go out and hang out my shingle as a speaker, author, consultant in the area of event technology. I was the first person to do that. I'm the kind of the OG of event technology in some ways. But it's been a labor of love. It's an industry that I think makes the world, we bring people together and make the world a better place.
All right, well, let's just do this. Everyone do me a favor, unmute, right? And say, let's say congratulations, Corbin, on the count of 3. Everybody unmute. Good, we got everyone. Linda coming in from Florida. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, go.
Mazel tov, Corbin.
Congratulations, Corbin. You deserve it.
Okay, so, Corbin has always been an advocate of inclusiveness and fairness. I'm just going to pick people. Now you're going to be on screen order. It's in the order that you logged in. Let's start off with our good friend, Cindy Hartner. Hello, Cindy.
Hi, Corbin. It's so good to see you. I don't have a particular story, but I just did want to say that you are one of the kindest people I have ever known. And you're so generous with your support, and you make everyone feel included, and not, especially in the field of event technology, where I am not an early adopter, and it happens to be something that kind of scares me a bit because it seems like something I'll never get my brain around, but you make it just feel like it's okay. Like it's okay that I don't know, and it's okay that we're all learning constantly and that kind of thing. And so for that, I know you have shared that with so many thousands of people. And for people like me, I just want to say on behalf of all of us, thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, Cindy, that part, it was so important. I don't think meeting professionals in the past knew how much impact technology was going to have. And more importantly, Corbin can already see, he's shown us every year the future of how technology affects us as meeting professionals. So, Cindy, thank you so much for that. We're clocking many past presidents here. Let's now also welcome past president Terry Onustak. Hi, Terry. What would you like to say to Corbin?
Well, my little story is the first time that I met Corbin was when I worked for Washington Mutual. And I was kind of newly in the role of being in charge of meetings, and my counterpart was our corporate travel manager, Carmen Mortensen. And she and I were tasked with, we keep having more and more meetings. What are we going to do? How can we control these things? And so we brought Corbin in to consult, and he spent several, I don't know, hours and days, maybe even interviewing people and coming up with ideas for us. And we got this report and information from it at the end. And I remember Carmen and I looking at each other going, oh my gosh, we are just overwhelmed, because there was so much happening and so much that was, on the road for the future. And, of course, the Washington Mutual at the time was a little bit slow at adopting things, and we didn't adopt nearly as much as what we should have. But of course, we took some of those, that of his advice and implemented it as we built a meetings team and a meetings program. And then just as I got more and more involved in the meetings industry and MPI and kept seeing more and more of everything that Corbin has contributed to our chapter and to the industry. It's always been in awe of his knowledge and everything that he's been able to contribute, and just so appreciative of everything that he has done for our chapter and for the industry.
Terry, do us a favor. Think of a question or ask Corbin a question if you don't mind, Terry.
Ask Corbin a question. Put me on the spot, John.
I know, I'm only chatting. I just invented this right now. It's the truth. Cindy will get to ask the last question.
Corbin, what is the biggest change that you've seen over the years in the meetings industry?
Good question.
Well, my focus is on technology, and I think that's I've noticed that over the decades, essentially 5 decades that I've been kind of watching this, that there's been a major technology trend for each of those decades. In the 80s, PCs came in and changed the office, changed homes. In the 90s, it was really the internet that was invented, and people started doing email. And even though in 1991, Tim Berners-Lee invented the hyperlink for the web, it really didn't take off into the 2000s. And that's when the technology came in, and web technology came in and really transformed things. In the 2010s, it was mobile technology. And the one, I think, for this decade that will be at least as profound as any of those will be artificial intelligence. It's going to change the name of the game for events, for industry in general.
Outstanding. Thank you, Corbin. Yes, Training Magazine just asked me for a description for a program. So I used Monster Insights that has this massive database to pick the title that gave me a score of 93 that tells me people will actually click and register for it. And then I took that title and shoved it in ChatGPT and actually wrote my whole session description minus 7 edits that I made to it. I sent it to Gary Van Antwerp, and he's like, this is really good. So that's what we're going to see. Speaking of really good, this woman is like you, so important to the industry. She's been my ally in Asian Pacific Islander event profs. She warms my heart every day that I see her. And I almost got a chance to see her in Washington, D.C., but she's too busy. So let's welcome to the wonderful stage your good friend, Joan Eisenstadt.
John, thanks. Corbin, it's really interesting. I was trying to calculate the year we first met, and I don't know. I know I remember the first time we had a deeper conversation. It was on a beach at an MPI. It must have been an MPI chapter meeting, when I could still walk, and we were walking on the beach and really sharing more about ourselves, not really about the industry. And it was one of the it's one of those really lovely memories. I treasure you as a friend, and you tried so hard to make me become much more technological than I ever was. Um, I'm not bad. I was an early adopter, I think, of a lot of things. I know that our MPI chapter in the other Washington, where I am, DC, we did our first satellite broadcast in the 80s. I was president of our chapter from 83 to 85. So I think it was around 1984 we did that. And you have been a treasure in my life for so long. Joel said to send you his love.
Oh,
I mean, you were in my life before Joel was in my life, so we know that it's more than 30 years. And I'm thrilled for you with the direction of your life now and what you've been able to do, not only professionally but personally. And I won't cry. I'm trying really hard not to cry. I know what you've been through, and I value where you're going, and I'm grateful that you are able to take the time to do what you want to do now. So thank you for what you've done for me as a person, and thank you for sharing your knowledge with an industry that is still trying really hard to get up to speed.
Oh, thank you, Joan. You are a dear friend. We've known each other for ages, and it's so nice to see you. And thank you for joining, and thank you for those kind words.
Joan, do you have a question for Corbin?
You know, I do have a question. One of the interesting things to me, and this is part of what John said early on, in looking at technology, and we've known this from forever. It is still and how the haves and have-nots, and what we see with around the world are certainly regimes that are cutting off access for people, which then means that those people who want to be involved in meetings and learning may not have that access. What do you see as ways, if you can, or what have you read that will allow more people, both in terms of the finances, in terms of anything, to be more engaged? I just as a side note, I get requests on LinkedIn from strangers, and I'm corresponding now with someone in Africa, in a small country. He's in our industry. He reached out, and I thought, why not? And we're having a wonderful email conversation. And he doesn't have the access that he would like to have. So I'm curious what you see, and not just around the world, in the United States, as we look at the next generation. We know what COVID did with families having to share internet. So what do you see as a way to be more inclusive?
Well, one of the big trends that has happened is mobile technology. That's the way that many people most people around the world are accessing the internet right now is through mobile technology. There are more cell phones than there are toilets, so that and so that is speaking of Africa, that has really opened up the capabilities of banking, to currency exchange, all these different things that were not available for vast numbers of the population around the world are now becoming available. I too am concerned about the rise of totalitarianism around the world, and they can limit access to that, as what's happening in Russia and other places around the world. And so that's something that technology. I mean, there's potential. I mean, you have satellite technology that is aiding Ukraine, for example, right now. So it's but it's. That is another issue, but I think that mobile technology is the one that has really opened up the doors to vast numbers of people around the world.
Can our industry do anything to influence I don't know that we can influence governments, but certainly we are a large part of the economic needs of a lot of countries. Is there anything we can do that we're not doing in areas where there are greater restrictions?
That's difficult. I mean, what I love about meetings is what bring people together, and
Right.
you know, that it increases communication. And I think international meetings are especially important in that regard. And it's and so encouraging that, helping that, providing a means of discussions that people can you know, of different viewpoints can come together and understand, I think is a helpful one. But that you're asking very deep, broader questions that it's
It's
above
me,
my pay
Corbin.
grade right now.
You know that I'm not going to ask something frivolous because that's not who I am. Here's my hope. I know that you intend to travel even more. You've had incredible travels.
Mm.
My hope is, you know, John said at the beginning he doubts she'll be totally out. That's my belief too. That it just the same way that I can't go anywhere without doing a site inspection. You'll see things differently. And so my hope would be that while you are traveling and enjoying life, that you will also find ways to encourage people to be involved and to, as much as they can, speak out. Russia was a great example that you used. It is horrifying right now, the number of arrests for people who are just putting flowers in memory of someone. So that my hope is that you will continue to be an ambassador for inclusion. So thank you for what you said.
Well, thanks, Joan. I too, I'm not. This is an industry I love. You will see me at an occasional MPI meeting. I'll probably go to IMEX America every year because it's such a large gathering, and so it's that I can see friends and colleagues. So I'll be around. I'm not going to go away. I'm just going to be focusing on some other things, on travel, on volunteering locally, auditing classes, number of things, spending time with my grandchildren, and so I'm just going to back off a little bit, and so that's what the plan is.
Thank you so much, Joan. You know, leave it to Joan to give you the softball question, right, Corbin? What about world peace, Corbin? Oh my goodness. All right. Well, we're still clocking past and current presidents. This woman is a total underachiever, right? While being president of two organizations at the same time, something Corbin would probably tell you not to do. She also has usually children on her lap. Let's bring in the one and only Jana Henricks. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, don't be president of two associations at the same time. That's my advice. So Corbin, I don't know how, I think we've only chatted a couple of times at various MPI events, but as John said, as current MPI president, I do want to thank you for all of the contributions that you've made to the chapter and the industry over the years. Obviously your legacy with the industry is ridiculous. I mean, we have an award named after you, for God's sakes. So we just thank you for serving as our president and being a huge leader in event tech and all that. My question is, what are you most proud of in your time with MPI?
Oh, I think that I have been very fortunate to get a number of recognitions, but I think what that has what that means to me is that I've had an opportunity to give back to help the industry. And that's really what my goal has been the whole time, is that when I got my CMP in 1988, and part of that was before I joined MPI the year following. And it was part of my goal was a major driver was, well, I've been meeting planning for several years before that, and I've developed these systems, and I want to help fellow meeting professionals go forward. And I think that has been the thing I'm most proud of, is that I've had an opportunity to help others in our industry, and that's kind of the bottom line for me.
Outstanding. Thank you, Jana. Amazing questions. I love that too. Again, we have so many past presidents. All right, this This person is clocking in from Orlando or near Orlando-ish. She's got a CSEP, a VEMM, and we got the opportunity to run around Disney Springs together in true meeting planner fashion. And let me tell you, in true meeting planner fashion, you know you have a meeting professional when they go through, and a pub crawl is like the ultimate challenge. Well, first we're going to go here, and then the food is better here, and then you want this burger, and then we're going to go here. This is the best experience. At this point in the night, we need to sing karaoke. So that's kind of what it is, and that's how this meeting professional is coming in. Let's say welcome and hello to the one and only from Florida, Gloria Nelson.
Well, thank you very much. And I am by no stretch or means the oracle. But Joni, when you were trying to figure out and do the deep dive, I think that you and Corbin might have had that first intensive convo at Institutes when we were like the third program after the Diplomat in Hollywood.
Oh, good, Gloria. Oh, yes. Go ahead, Gloria. Thank you.
So Joni's kind of going, I don't think it was that, because then we went over to some place in south of there, north of where all the shopping is. What is that? Bal Harbor shop on that trip. That was my thought. Anyhow, Corbin used to come in and speak to our MPI chapter. And of course, I'm intimidated beyond cell 111 in column A when it comes to anything techie. And we had many times that he came in and spoke to our chapter and enlightened us and was more than hospitable and always gathered around the bar, tabletops, making sure, almost like he was the groom at a wedding before he got married. And congratulations, all those years ago, he did put a ring on it. And following you around the world on cycling trips and all kinds of fun things, Corbin, it has been a joy to not only serve on some faculties with you, but to watch all the things that you have so selflessly is not what you think on the tech side of the equation. But I understand that you got back from the Galapagos. And so I'm eager to know, what are the places that you wish to travel to in the future with your bride on your bucket list?
Ooh. Oh, that's a great question.
The fun stuff, right?
The Galapagos was amazing. In fact, I checked off 2 of my bucket list items in the last 3 months. To Angkor Wat in Cambodia and the Galapagos Islands were 2 of them, and it's I've now gone to 101 countries, and so that was kind of a goal to reach 100 on that as well. So I have a whole list of things. One of the areas that I want to explore this fall, we're planning on bicycle touring the Loire Valley in France and going to Belgium. I've been there. I've not seen the Loire Valley, but I've been to France many times. But and I've been to Belgium. But I think that's going to be a fun bicycle trip. Japan is another area that I really I've landed in Tokyo many times, but I've not explored the country, and so that's high on my list as well.
And John had posted in chat. He said, "Is it a backroads bicycle tour?"
It is essentially it's going to be a self-guided one, and so it's so you have an app. It's going to be a tour because they're going to take our luggage and transport from point to point along the way. But and you have an app that follows it. But it's a self-guided tour. I think it's going to be a really fun one.
And for those of us not in the know also, how old are your grandchildren? Where do they live in proximity to you? And how do they make your heart pop?
Yeah, all 3 of them live here in Bellingham, so I get a chance to see them fairly regularly. And it's and they are a 13-year-old grandson and a twins, a boy and a girl that are 10 years old.
Oh, wow. How fabulous. Yeah. I could take a lot of time just catching up with you, Corbin, but I want to be considerate of those who still have yet to speak. So I want to wish you the heartiest congratulations and rock your world tour wherever it takes you. I know that wherever you go, you leave an indelible print on the hearts of those people that you cross paths with. And for that, I personally, as well as I think I speak for everyone here, are incredibly grateful to you for.
Well, thank you, Gloria. That's very kind of you. Thank you.
Outstanding. Thank you, Gloria. Yes, Corbin, Backroads Bicycle Tours, talk about association work, became a primary member of the Association of Experiential Education in the way they use their tours. And I personally got to experience them when my son chose it for his trip when he turned 18. And we bicycled through the Super Chianti region of Italy. And it is a memory that I will never forget. Plus, it's so cool because they will move your luggage from hotel to hotel while you bicycle.
Yeah.
So you are in for one of the treats if you've never been on a Backroads bicycle tour. By the way, I've not paid for that. Okay, speaking of being not paid for this, one of my other favorite volunteers used to be a member of the Washington State chapter serving on the board. She is my favorite Brit tuning in from Florida. Let's welcome the one and only Linda Botts. Hi, Linda.
Hello, everyone. It's lovely to see all your faces. Corbin, I don't remember when we met because it seems to me you've always been there. So, however, I can share the last time we saw each other face to face. It was at the Crown Plaza at SeaTac Airport. You were setting up for a meeting that you were having at my hotel where I was currently working. And I think 4 days later, everything shut down.
Yes,
you were the last meeting to actually occur in my hotel when I was working there. So that was the last time. Well, I have to say this, Corbin, you've always been there. Thank you. Welcome to the world of the retired. And don't listen to what anybody says. You won't have time to work, Corbin. Because between my volunteer work, and by the way, Joan knows this because we talk a lot on Facebook. I now do a lot of volunteer work for the Democratic Party down here in Florida. So I'm doing my bit to turn that color down here. Between that and joining Rotary, I'm reading at schools to children and doing all sorts of other things. Who has time to work and traveling and visiting other countries? So welcome to my world. And I'm going to ask you this question. I'll be the frivolous question. What suddenly, because I know what happened to me, what point did you suddenly say to yourself, it's time to step back, it's time that I don't work full time anymore? Because I know when that hit me. So when was that for you?
I think that part of it was I have not been right since COVID happened. That kind of dried up all face-to-face speaking engagements. Unfortunately, I had some virtual ones lined up, but I was not writing as much, and my website was getting dated, and so that's why that was part of the drivers that I just didn't. I just didn't feel that I had the energy to kind of completely keep this up because it's a huge site. It has huge amounts of content. People were asking me, well, what about this article 5 years ago? Can you update it? And I just didn't have the energy. And one of the key things that happened was artificial intelligence. It was the changes the rate of change in technology is accelerating. Artificial intelligence is the fuel, the gasoline on the fire for that right now. And it would be a full-time job just to track that. And I said, there are many great event technologists out there right now. They're doing a good job. They're keeping up on this. And, it's time for me to let go of the reins and let other people take that place. And so it was a desire to. I just didn't want to spend all the time to keep up on it. And if I was going to do it, I wanted to keep up with it. And so that was kind of a driver for me to step away. And I have there's lots of other things I want to do, and while I'm still healthy and excited about life and so forth, I want to take advantage of these other things. But I think part of it was this continued rate of accelerating change that we are facing with events and with technology. That said, okay, I'm throwing the towel. I'm going to let somebody else take charge now.
Yeah, I get it 100%, Corbin. Good for you.
Well, you heard it here first, Linda. Maybe AI is that indirectly now we can infer that AI is the thing that caused Corbin to retire.
There you go. See, we always knew it was a bad thing, John, didn't we? You know, AI was gonna make people redundant. Now we've met one.
Now, see, maybe Linda, what you don't know is Corbin's retiring so he can like upload his brain to the internet. So there's going to be a Corbin AI. It's going to be called CAI or Chat CB for Corbin.
Okay, so we're going to go to the Matrix with Corbin's brain.
Linda Botts, thank you so much. I know that Linda's been a longtime chapter member here in Washington State, of which Corbin this is his home base. And so thank you for that. Well, let me take my moment. Again, I'm John Chen, the author of Engaging Virtual Meetings, and I'm in my 15th year of MPI. I know that makes me a little bit of a unicorn because I used to be the VP of membership, and like the membership is like this, exponential curve of like, the number of people that are after 10 years. It's something special, right? When you get into this association. So my memories of Corbin Ball, one of my favorite memories is when me and Corbin, and I believe it was James Spellos, we did a Meetings Today podcast at WC. And for those of you who don't know music, right, you know that jazz is improvisational. And that when jazz is really good, right, it's only better because the three people who are playing are listening to each other and reacting to each other. And you get a product that is better than anything that they would have wrote music for. And that's what that interview is like. That's what Corbin really excels at. And because he's listening to the industry. He's listening to us as we're all talking, and like we all were playing off each other. If you don't see that podcast, go back to Meetings Today and look for the podcast with Corbin, myself, James, and rewatch it. And the second piece that I have is I have a photograph of Corbin and myself at Cascadia Educational Conference, one of the greatest collaborations between two MPI chapters, by the way, MPI Washington State and MPI Oregon. Now collaborating with other chapters with our good friend, Jim Coccabellas. And Corbin, the fact that you're here with us live, this is, it's a treat. And you know that Jim taught us that life is precious and that we don't know when our card's going to get punched, right? We don't know. And Jim, showed us that, and that picture means so much because Jim, like you, was a 30+ member. He was like one of the longest running members in our chapter, and he made an impact on so many people. So my question to you is, who are some of the people not on this call, since everyone got a chance to ask something, who would you like to thank for your career, and why would you like to thank them?
Oh man,
I know the list is large.
Joan would have been. Yeah, I know it's not on the call, but Joan is one of the ones that was a mentor and a dear friend for many, many, many years. Let's see, a couple of people come to mind. One is someone that probably no one knows here. His name is Jim Cunningham, and he was the director of sales at the Town and Country Hotel, director of sales and the meeting manager for Town and Country Hotel. And he was a person that, I just started out in 1979. I was running my first meeting, and he was a person that I just didn't know, there was so much I was learning. And he just said, well, Corbin, he kind of took me under his wing and he said, this is how the hotel works, and this is how things work in the industry. And he, and through successive years, we held meetings there for 10 years in a row before we outgrew it and moved to the newly opened San Diego Convention Center. And over those 10 years, he just gave me lots and lots and lots of advice and his mentorship and help. And he set a goal for me to, is that you give back, that you can be you never know who you can be a mentor for, but that you can give to others and help them along the way. You pay it forward. Another one, a dear friend that has been in the industry forever, it was Ed Scannell. He He's been president of MPI, he's president of ASTD, he's president of National Speakers Association. He won all the top awards in each of those 3 associations. And yet he is one of the most humble people I have ever met. And I joined NSA and he took me around, he introduced me to everyone. He was always giving and helpful, and not just to me. I mean, he's been a mentor to tens of thousands of people over the year, I'm sure. And those 2, and there's so many others. There's, my major friends in the industry have been my major friends, my good friends, Jeff Rasco and many, many more have been are my closest friends. And so it's been, I feel the one thing I've found about this industry is if you survive in this industry, if you last, you are a person that's honest and full of integrity. And I think that we are a very well-connected industry. The meetings industry, the word gets around. And if you aren't scrupulous in your dealings, the word will get around. You won't last. And so the people that really thrive in this industry are honest, hardworking, good people. And I've met so many of them over the years.
Corbin, so many great shout outs. Ed Scannell led, I feel like I stand on Ed's shoulders as I wrote a book for digital team building. That's how he made his name, was his John Wiley and Sons book about team building initiatives in the real world. So a lot of those names I know and appreciate. And so I want to thank you for that. I would be remiss if I don't get to ask you the technology future question. Corbin, I want to share this with you. My good friend Rick Altman made this slide. Since you are so knowledgeable about AI, I want to show you this slide. And in a moment, I want to ask you, Corbin, what do you see for the meetings industry 20 years from now? So think about some of the things that you like to share. This is what he shared about AI. Get my deck here. Okay, great. So this was he called the race to a million users, right? So Corbin, do me a favor, just give me a number. How many years did it take for Netflix to get to 1 million members?
Oh, geez, probably 4 years, I guess.
Oh, see, Corbin was really good. Did you see how he waited there? 3.5 years.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Kickstarter and Airbnb took 2.5 years to get 1 million users. Twitter, 2 years. Foursquare and a bunch of our other friends, 13, 10, 7, 5. Instagram, 2.5. Now, here's the best part, Corbin.
Yes.
We're showing you the bar for ChatGPT. Let me just zoom in and show you. It took just 5 days, Corbin.
Yeah. It's amazing. Yeah.
So will you share with us, right, for one more time, what do you see in the future, like a generation down the line for the meetings industry, Corbin?
Oh, these days, when you talk about 5 years, that's it's a history, so 10, it's really, it's hard to imagine. I think that we will have avatars that can look exactly like us, that we could go to meetings with, that could that interact virtually or whatever. I think that we can, our world will expand considerably, that we could attend and put on VR glasses and have an avatar that can interact with others, that we can be anywhere we want, that anything that the mind could imagine, we could be there. And in very realistic, 3-dimensional, high definition, so realistic that it would be difficult to tell it from reality. And how that's going to change the world is, that's could, have huge impacts about how people interact with each other. It's hard to really to speculate. It's what that will happen. It's hard to imagine. I mean, you start looking at, the potential of AI. I mean, there's a really dark side of it as well. I mean, there's, it could be an existential threat. It's and I hope that nations get together and develop some type of standards so that won't happen.
Yeah.
But it'll be interesting to watch. We are living in amazing times, and the Chinese curse, may you live in interesting times, and we certainly are doing that.
I just want to jump in here, Corbin. It makes me think of Dan Parks when we had the bubble bust back in.
That was a great pause, Corbin. She said bubble butt and she broke her internet.
had said, but I remember when we had the Joni Eisenstadt meeting room in our digital convention center that we created in Second Life, and we're actually producing programs during that time. And you had a custom avatar, as did Joni.
Yes.
And of course, my avatar was dressed in nothing but faux Chanel. But, I mean, there's so many things that are happening on the horizon. But to your point as well, there's some vulnerable risks involved for sure.
So, Gloria, you're going to clock the next question, but we have to welcome our next guest in here. Let's welcome Eating at a Meeting founder, Tracy Stockcraft.
Tracy, one of my team members and partners.
Hello. How are you?
Great.
Good.
Hi, Tracy.
Hey, Corbin.
So, Tracy, do us a favor. So Gloria's got to hold a question. So Tracy, since you just jumped in, do us a favor, share what you'd like to say to Corbin and ask Corbin a question. Thanks, Tracy, for joining us.
Well, my question is, what's your first trip, or have you already taken your first trip? And I mean, I've known you for, I don't know how many years. And thank you so much for everything that you've done for our industry in educating us on technology. It's so valuable.
Well, thanks, Tracy. I mentioned that kind of the next my next bucket list items are to explore Japan, and also to explore the Loire Valley, bicycle the Loire Valley, and then bicycle into Belgium. The three places, Brussels, Ghent, and Bruges, are where I plan to go in Brussels on that same trip.
Okay, so since I went to high school in Okinawa, Japan, I suggest that you go to that tiny little island as well, not just the big island, but go down there. It's absolutely beautiful.
That sounds great. I'll keep that in mind. It looks like a really interesting place to explore.
Yeah, very cool. Awesome. So excited for you.
Thank you, Tracy. All right, let's see, Gloria, let's see if you can get your question in. We're going to freeform for like the next 10 minutes, and then we're going to let Corbin retire.
Corbin, my question to you is, of course, I think everybody here is a lifelong learner from one another, from others. So you mentioned that you're going to go in an audit class. I'm curious to know, if maybe others are as well, what has piqued your interest in those collegiate courses that you wish to audit and learn more about?
One of my biggest interests is art history, and so I've had the good fortune to visit most of the great museums around the world, and so it's at least in Western art, and so I think that taking an advanced art history course would be something that I would like to do, just to get that input, and then there are other areas as well. I mean, history is always has been an interest to me as well. But I love the visual. There's no better time machine that we have than looking at art from different periods of time. You can just really, last year I was in Athens, and to see, how advanced that civilization was 2,500 years ago, is amazing to see, and that's I think that's one of the ones that I would love to do.
That is a great quote, Corbin. There is no better time machine than art. For all my art friends out there, keep on arting just because of that. Corbin, did you see that military movie where they saved all the art, right? It was World War II that they were trying to destroy and they saved it. That was a phenomenal movie that somebody recommended to me.
Yeah, that's Clooney was in that movie. Yes, it's it's George Clooney. So it was that's and that's a real story. Is how they actually they Hitler looted all the art and from around and they were able to claim it back and so it's a great story.
Outstanding. Okay, well, let's do this. Let's do the speed round. Glow, we're going to go first. It's going to be in order on the screen. So it's going to Glow, Tracy, Linda, Terry, Cindy, and then me. You want to ask Corbin a very fast question. So you could do things like chocolate or vanilla. Okay, Corbin, chocolate or vanilla?
Chocolate.
Okay, Gloria, go. Remember to unmute.
Apple or other?
Apple. Both. I use both. I'm multilingual, so it's I do own a number of Apple items though, and they've done a good job for me.
I thought you were talking about edible apple.
I thought we were talking about pie, but okay, yeah.
But I love Corbin is the first, right? He's never going to say either or. He's going to always say both and. That was a genius example of that. Okay, let's go. Tracy, speed ground.
Mini Cooper or Hummer?
Oh.
Oh, of the two, Mini Cooper.
Yay, that's what I did.
I think Corbin might say Tesla or something else, though.
Yeah, or other, I guess. Mini Cooper or other, yeah.
Side note, Corbin, look at the article. I think Norway or some country around there is now up to that 85% of all the new vehicles they sold in a year were electric. Wow. The America is 6.7%. Ouch.
Wow.
Wow. I know. I just saw that article. Okay, Linda, speed round.
Dog or cat?
Ooh.
Dog, cat. For me, a cat. I've had both, but in my stage of life, and I don't have any pets right now because I travel too much, and it's not fair to cats. But if I had a choice, they're more independent, and that's what I choose.
If you want to buy a gift for Corbin, buy him an AI cat he can travel with. An AI cat. Let's go to Jana.
Okay, tapping into travel. Would you rather travel somewhere tropical or cold?
Tropical because of more biodiversity.
Oh, wow. That was not the reason I thought, but that was my answer, was tropical. Thank you so much. All right, Terry.
Well, I'm surprised that my question is still here because I thought Jana would take it. Red wine or white wine?
Ooh.
Red wine of the choice. Red, it's but there's another one where it's both. It depends. In the summer, I love a good Chardonnay, but I usually go for the robust Cabernet Sauvignon.
Well, here, Corbin, I'll give you James Spellos advice. He says if you're going to drink red wine, drink Malbec. Malbec is the one wine that his doctor approves for his heart health. So there you go, Malbec.
Interesting. Okay.
Cindy Hartner. Oh no, here, I got you. Hold on. I got you now. Do it again. Do it again. Cindy.
Okay, sorry. One thing I will say about being the last question or being the last speed dial question is that all of you took all my questions the whole hour. So I had to be completely on my toes. So what I will say is sparkling or still?
Sparkling.
Wow. Okay, let's see. I'm going to clock one more in here. Oh, let me see. Favorite protein?
Oh, gee. I'd say salmon.
Ooh, good one.
Yeah.
Northwest, copper.
Yeah, copper. Yeah, copper. Absolutely.
Oh my goodness. All right, well, let's do this. Corbin, thank you so much. I hope you don't mind the little surprise we arranged for you. But we're all so honored. We're all so grateful for your presence in the industry. We are all affected by you. You made an impact on all of us. I'm proud to say that I'm a member of the chapter that housed Corbin Ball. I can tell you that, and I just want to make sure you remember, because it's easy to forget sometimes, especially Corbin's solopreneur a good portion of this later part of his life, to forget, am I really making an impact or not? I just want to know that every person on the screen, Corbin, you made an impact, and then times that by like 11 billion, and you would probably get the right impact for that. So Corbin, congratulations on your retirement. Everyone now unmute again. We're going to unmute. We're going to say happy retirement to Corbin. We'll end this live stream, but those here on Zoom, stick around. We'll have just a few minutes to say any final words off camera. Okay, good. I think everybody's unmuted. Cindy, except for Cindy. There we go. All right. It's happy retirement, Corbin. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Happy retirement, Corbin.
Thank you so much. Thank you all for coming. It really means a lot. Thank you.
Again, happy retirement, Corbin. This has been another episode of Engaging Virtual Meetings Podcast. There is no one more engaging than Corbin, and I can tell you because I have won the Corbin Ball Technology Award. Your legacy will live on and on and on and on, Corbin. Happy retirement from all of us to all of you and your family. Thank you so much. I'm John Chen, and this has been Engaging Virtual Meetings Podcast Special Edition with Corbin Ball. This is John Chen, the author of the Amazon #1 hot new release, Engaging Virtual Meetings. I personally want to say thank you for listening to the Engaging Virtual Meetings podcast. It is my passion to help you eliminate bad virtual meetings. Make sure that you click subscribe so that you can get the latest episode of the Engaging Virtual Meetings podcast with all of the latest ideas. Hey, I want to meet you. If you want to talk about a virtual meeting challenge, or if you want to be the next guest on the Engaging Virtual Meetings podcast, just go to engagingvirtualmeetings.com/meet. That's engagingvirtualmeetings.com/meet, MEET, and find your best time to meet up. Thank you, and I look forward to engaging with you online.